Hey YouTube, Ultra Maximus here on Labor Day. Holiday here in the US that just drives me crazy. I don't like this holiday. It's annoying. Trash service doesn't run, mail service doesn't run, the post office is closed, the banks are closed, most businesses are closed. It's just like, oh, really? And there's just no point to it. And it just drives me crazy. So I thought I'd do a review. And today's review is going to be a Bayformer, and the biggest Bayformer that I own. Devastator. So yeah, I got this guy, and the only reason I really got him because he is absolutely massive, and he does look better when you actually physically have him and hold him than he does like on paper. I didn't like this thing at all when I first got it, or when I first saw him. Not when I first got it, but when I first saw him. And I was upset about the toy because he was just a bunch of drones, basically, that came together. This is like the biggest Power Core combiner ever, before the Power Core combiners came out. But I went ahead and got him because I got a great deal on him, and I had a gift card, basically. So I got this guy for $10 with the gift card. So that was pretty cool. That was nice. I'm like, yeah, I'll spend $10 on this because he was like $89.99 in the store when he first came out. I was like, are you kidding me for that thing? So yeah, kind of interesting. I think what I'm going to do is we'll take a look at him in the individual pieces and talk about the different pieces in the character, and then we'll take a look at him in robot mode. Alright, so let's take a look at Devastator's individual components before we look at his robot in real detail. And the main unit is this guy who's making noise. All of the electronics are going to be in Mixmaster, and he gets kind of annoying. And I don't know if it's my figure, maybe the batteries are going loose, or it's wired goofy. Sometimes this thing works, and sometimes it doesn't. It just... yeah, sometimes I can, like, see, I can get him to make noise there, but sometimes when he's in Devastator mode, he doesn't make the noise. And then sometimes you don't even touch the figure, and it starts talking and lighting up and doing all kinds of stuff. So I don't know what the deal is with mine. Does anybody else have issues with their Devastator figure like that? Let me know. I'm kind of interested to see who else has issues with it. But I love the color scheme on this guy. He's very Nemesis Prime, Scourge, or Motor Master looking, with that kind of a bluish purple windows. Great detail on the doors, the rear view mirrors. He's got these smokestacks, the little steps to get up in there. He rolls really well. It's got nice wheelage. The front end looks awesome. Big old dump or a cement mixer. He's got a little Decepticon logo right here, where like a Mac logo would go. Nice grill. He's got these headlights behind bars, which is very cool. The cement mixer itself's nicely detailed. We got our entry point here and over here. We've got a little bit of robot kibble up here where the cement would go in, but not too bad. And then the back of the unit looks good. We've got our cement drop here. It's all folded up. Be nice if that could extend out. And then we've got the taillights are painted on, which is nice. Hasbro does not do that too terribly often, but all in all, big vehicle, big truck. I'm really digging this. It's a shame it doesn't turn into the individual robot. It just turns into the head component of Devastator. Because, and this is kind of confusing to me, because in the movie, we see at least Long Haul, Rampage, and I want to say Scrapper turn into robots. I know for a fact we see Long Haul go down with Megatron. I want to say Scrapper was in there too. And we see Rampage fighting Bumblebee at the end of the movie, Bumblebee and the other Autobots in Revenge of the Fallen. But then at the same time, while those characters are doing that, we see Devastator form out of just the vehicles. So I don't know what the deal. Bad movie making, bad editing maybe, I don't know. But if it was just the vehicles getting pulled together and turning into the robot, that would make this toy make much more sense, but it doesn't. And we've got a line of deluxe figures and Voyager figures that turn from these individual vehicles to a robot. Like there's a Mixmaster with a giant Decepticon logo on his cement mixer that turns into, a robot. And so it doesn't make much sense. So I don't know. It is a nice big toy, but it would be very cool if these guys turned into individual robots as well. So kind of a miss on there. But anyway, looking at the other vehicles, here is Scrapper, who looks very nice, very cool. Unfortunately, his shovel does not go up and down. He's a little bulldozer shovel type thing. He's got some great detail on him, though. Oh, forgot a piece. His shovel looks pretty good for putting into multiple pieces. We've got rivets and the teeth on it and the hydraulics on the thing. We've got, on the back, we've got our steps to go up and our railings and pipes coming out of the motor area. The cab looks really cool, all painted black. And we also have this cool looking motor up front, which is awesome. We've got the nice Decepticon logo with some stripes and silver on that gray, which looks awesome. And it says BG-E Biggie. Maybe he's a rapper. I don't know. But yeah, just nice details on this figure. I really do like the way this guy looks. Very cool, very nice, and he obviously rolls really well. Another good size figure. I really dig that. Hook is kind of interesting. He's kind of plain here. That's kind of sad. And there's not much underneath there, which is kind of sad and unfortunate. But he's got his hook here, his crane. It'd be nice if we had some wires that attached, but we don't. That kind of stinks. That would make this look a lot cooler. Detail on it up top is pretty decent. We got some decent looking stuff. We got some joint issues where we can see the joint there, but that's okay. And then we got the Decepticon logo, and then it's got a number that says 40777. So not sure what that means. Probably something one of the toy designers threw in. And then we've got this dual shovel thing up front with this hook underneath. I've never seen a crane look like that, but it's obviously some kind of throw-in because, this forms one of the arms and these are his fingers. It'd be nice if this folded up under like that and you could leave these things out or something, but it doesn't. Yeah, or just fold this up totally completely so we just have a crane. That would have been cool. Or maybe if this spun around and became a bulldozer type thing, additive, that might have looked really cool. But instead we got this weird grabby thing up front that kind of hinders your crane. I don't know. Kind of weird. This is the weakest one, I think, of all the vehicle modes. Absolutely. But it is a good size. I do like the size of the thing. Let's see. Now the next two are kind of sad, really. They're the legs of the robot, and they're very small. These are probably deluxe size. And first up, we have Rampage, who is a new addition. I think he replaces, is it Bone Crusher? Instead of Bone Crusher, we get this guy, Rampage, and he's a little bulldozer. Detail on him is magnificent. I love the detail. Look at the treads and the gears and the sides of the motor and everything popping up. These pistons and the cab looks awesome. He's even got this little hook in the back so he can drag and pull. And the paint app on the shovel blade is phenomenal. It just looks like worn out metal. He's even got the rivets in there in the blade. This guy looks magnificent. But the problem with him is he's so tiny. Look at that. And that can be forgivable because there are smaller bulldozers in construction sites, and I can forgive that, I guess. I just would rather this figure be the same size as this figure. And it'd be a lot bigger toy if they'd done that. So that's so sad. And this is the saddest of all. Yeah. Long Haul is so tiny, and this should actually probably be the biggest vehicle of them all because he is one of those massive, massive earth haulers that has to have a ladder to get up to get into the thing. I mean, you see the rails where people would walk around. The detail on it is pretty decent. He's got this great paint app on the side. I mean, you can even feel the texture of the paint on it, on his little dump truck thing there. I mean, it looks good, looks cool. But, you know, we even got over here on the side lots of motor work. That looks awesome. His cab looks cool. He's got a big old Decepticon logo up front and headlights painted on. The inside looks kind of dumb. And then we got a little bit of robot kit over here. I suppose that could have been... They should have painted that maybe gray to make that bumper or something. I don't know. But yeah, he just... this is just a fail figure. And he's has a little... It'd be nice if his little dumper actually dumped at least. But so tiny. He should be one of the biggest ones. And it's just... And he's actually the only one that's in the original Constructicon colors. But yeah, I wish this guy was so much bigger. And again, it would just make the figure bigger. It'd be nice. Maybe a third party will do a revamp of this, a bigger version of this guy and this guy to make that Devastator figure bigger. So hey, there's an idea out there for you guys. But the biggest one and the coolest one by far is, in fact, this guy. Love this guy. This is Scavenger in vehicle mode, and he is looking awesome. Love him. He is massive. I wish all the Constructicons were this big. Very cool. He's a steam shovel, and he's got some nice clicky clank and motion where he can grab stuff up. Very cool, very nice. Yeah, detail on him is pretty good. We got the ladders crawling up and everything. On this side, we've got Scavenger and the big Decepticon logo there. Very cool looking. This side in the paint app, there are some numbers and letters. It says THK 1139. So that's got to be initials for something, for one of the guys, designers. And then the cab looks really cool. Digging the cab. Really like the cab. His walk platform looks really nice on there. The only thing that kind of stinks is the back. There should have been something to fold up and hide that. That would have looked really nice. And then, yeah, I mean, he just looks really nice. Now, he does have this piece right here, and I forget where this goes. Let's see if I can remember where it goes off the top of my head here. I know where it goes on the robot, but I can never remember on this guy. I think it's a ladder piece. Maybe that clips on here. Like that? Yeah, that's what it is. Clips on the side there. So, yeah. There he is. You could probably put it over here, too, if you wanted to. No. It definitely goes on this side because it won't fit on the other side. So yeah, there he goes there. Problem with this piece, it falls off. It is really loose, and it falls off on the robot mode very easily too. So that's kind of annoying, but it looks cool on there. Looks pretty nice. If you just sit there, it's probably not going to do much. And but if you got a kid and he's playing with this thing, then it might be an issue. But yeah, so there he is. Scavenger looks awesome. How cool would this figure be if all of the Constructicons were this big? Let me tell you, it would be awesome. All right, so let's take a look at this guy in robot mode again and wrap this review up. All right, so here he is back in robot mode. And, you know, this is a big toy. Articulation is okay on it. And he's got very clicky ratchet joints. You could do some decent poses with him, but he's so heavy, and his feet are okay as far as standing goes. They hold the weight surprisingly, but you kind of want to be careful. And he's got this big shovel back here that you can move down to kind of help balance if you want to. His poses but he's kind of gorilla-like in the movie, so you can get some decent gorilla-type poses out of him. His fingers are kind of basically claws on both sides. This one, I like this one a little bit better because it breaks apart the shovel up here. I think that's kind of cool. This thing is kind of goofy. It really, I don't know why they're separated. I don't know. I always kind of keep them together, kind of make it look like one piece, and generally kind of fold it back that way. He's got nice detail. I do like the detail on this guy. I love how there's a Decepticon logo down there. There's a Decepticon logo up behind the little crane. Let me move it down so we can see it on video a little better. There it is. Nice Decepticon logo there. I'm sure there's some in other places. So kind of cool, kind of fun. Lots of bolts, lots of... I mean, he's very well detailed in all the little spots and everything. And of course, if we open his mouth, he will talk to us sometimes. I always pull these little flaps up here. Let's see. And of course, he's not talking. Why aren't you talking? Now, does anybody else have an issue with this figure as far as when he talks, when he moves, why he moves, certain times? Yeah, I don't know why he's not. Usually he lights up and talks. Why aren't you doing it now? I love that maw he's got in there. You could put nice little Voyager figures down. Very cool, very nice. And he was just talking earlier. I don't know why he's not talking now. And I got the weird thing about this guy is I'll move him, adjust him, get him to talk, and then he'll sit for a long time, quiet, and randomly make a noise and light up. Does anybody else have that? Or is it me and this figure? Maybe this figure's kind of short-circuited or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is with these little flap things. It makes him look like a bunny rabbit, doesn't it? I don't know. I usually just kind of leave them down like that. I think that looks better. I don't know what the dealio is with those things, but yeah, that's pretty much it. But he's pretty awesome. Now I do have an issue with this part right here. Likes to pop off. It does not like to stay on there. That's kind of annoying. But for the most part, I do like the figure. He looks a lot better physically having him and sitting on the shelf than I thought he was going to. Had I not had the coupon to get it, I never would have bought this thing. If you can find him relatively cheap, he's kind of a fun one to have. Oh, I just noticed another little Decepticon logo right there under his mouth. That's kind of cool. Yeah, he's definitely an interesting piece, but I wouldn't spend a lot of money on him. I just don't think he's worth... I wouldn't spend any more than, I don't know, $20 or $40 on this figure. If you can find him at a flea market or a yard sale or something for 20 or 40 bucks, I think he's worth that. But I wouldn't pay any more for him for that. So, yeah, there he is. Devastator, one of my 3 biggest figures, including Unicron, and I've got the Ultimate Optimus Prime from Dark of the Moon, which I haven't gotten out of the box yet, so I'll take a look at it eventually. But I figure I'd take a look at this guy. The rainbow-colored Doom Machine. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and have a great week.